Hey there, Judi of JudiJamieson.com, and welcome to Intuitive Tuesday. In this week's short video lesson, I want to share with you my personal story along with a few graphic images, a forewarning there, of what you need to know concerning a psychic attack and curses. So if you are in that mindset where you are wanting revenge on somebody, you want to get somebody back, and you are even possibly going as far as to Google how to curse my ex or how to get revenge, please hang out and watch this video. Especially make sure you watch the entire video. So I want to tell you, if you are looking at purchasing a product from somebody where they're, going over spell casting and cursing, anything to give some kind of negative outcome onto somebody else, be very, very careful as to what you mess with, because what will come back to you will be 10 times more hurtful, painful, horrific, and devastating than I guarantee you are prepared to deal with. Make sure you stay to the end and watch the entire video, because I'm going to go over some options for you as to how to move on with your life and how I can help you get through a very troubling, trying time in your life. First, let me go over and share with you what sparked this video. What is the difference between a psychic attack and a curse? And then I'm going to share with you my personal story. What sparked this video? I was on Facebook, and there was a woman that I follow who labels herself as a psychic and a witch. And I noticed she put up a post here, and I'll show you the photo of exactly what I happened to stumble across, where she was selling a product to specifically curse your ex-lover's current lover. And on top of it, she was teaching a course on karma. Obviously, this woman does not know how karma works. It triggered something in me of when I went through a psychic attack and how dangerous this stuff is here. So let me tell you what a psychic attack is and the curse, because a lot of people, I think, misunderstand or are misinformed as to what exactly a psychic attack is. So a psychic attack is really nothing more than you thinking and feeling negative things and you directing that energy towards another person. So if you've ever experienced really wanting revenge on someone and really wishing and hoping something bad happens to them, or even playing it out and visualizing it in your mind, that is the energy that you are giving off, and that is a psychic attack. Sometimes the person may even be able to pick up on that energy, and I'm going to share that with you in my personal story. A curse, okay? That is where you or someone else performs some kind of ritual or ceremony or purchases some kind of product with the intent to intervene and throw a monkey wrench in somebody else's free will and their life. That is the stuff that you, oh good freaking God, don't go there. Karma will come back to you tenfold, and I guarantee you it will hurt you 10 times more than what you were wishing would happen to somebody else. A curse is just black magic manipulation. Even something what might seem as insignificant as a love spell, I wouldn't call that a curse, but a curse is directing negative things. But when you go through something where, okay, I met Joe Schmo and I love him and I really want him to love me, and you get one of these little things that, would make them fall in love with you, that's also intervening on someone else's free will, and you don't want to go there. Quick personal story on that one. I did something like that when I was young. Probably, I think it was like my late teens, early 20s. And it was where, this person would fall in love with you, and yeah, it didn't go well. That person was obviously very much fell in love with me to the point where they were obsessed with me. And when I had to end the relationship, it got to the point where I was ready to file a PFA and get a restraining order on this person. So again, anything that you are physically doing any kind of manipulation, spell, potion, ritual to manipulate something in somebody's life for your own personal satisfaction and gain, that is a curse. So let me fill you in here on my personal story, and I'm going to share some photos with you. I don't think they're that bad, but I just want to throw that out there. So I was freshly out of a marriage that had ended, okay? I wasn't divorced yet at this point, but it was done. There's no going back and reversing anything that happened. I had mentally checked out. I had moved out, and I was ready to create a new life. So I met somebody and was ready to move on. This person that I met, they were also freshly out of a bad relationship. So the two of us were going through the same exact thing at the same exact time. So let me explain to you here. Not all relationships end in a mutual agreement. Yeah, I'm not happy no more. I ain't feeling it. This ain't working out. Yeah, I agree with you. Things aren't working out the way that they're supposed to be, but maybe we can still be friends. It doesn't always work out like that. The kind of ending that I'm talking about is when you have one person who has made it very clear this relationship is over, there's no going back, I'm done, and the other person isn't hearing it. They're either not seeing it, not believing it, in denial. They think maybe we're just in a fight and we're taking a little break and we'll get back together and patch things up when we just need a little bit of space. And they just think it's not over. It hasn't registered in their head that the relationship is done. Until the person who said they were done decides to move on and starts dating someone else. Then the other person just loses their shit. A massive reality shift happens and they snap. So the usual things are going on here. My ex realized I moved on and I was dating somebody, and my boyfriend's ex finally realized he had moved on and he was dating somebody. Now, the normal things that were happening were the psychic attacks, okay, the nasty text messages, the threats, posting on social media, how, horrible this person is and how much you hate them and how much they destroyed your life and broke your heart and yada, 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 yada. Now, his ex, she took it to a whole entire new level. And she would send him text messages telling him that, she hopes he dies one of these days when he's out riding, or if he dies, she'll feel some personal satisfaction and she won't give two shits and she won't even go to the funeral. And she would post this stuff on social media also. That's just how nasty it was and how much resent and anger she was throwing out there, not only to him, but for the entire world to see it. Now, I'll tell you, this woman took up no space in my head. As much as she would like to blame me for the demise of her relationship, I had nothing to do with it, but I was an easy target, okay? So she took up no space in my head. I didn't think about her. She, nothing was going on there. Out of the blue, I started picking up on extremely negative thoughts. I found myself feeling really, really sick, really drained. She kept popping in my head, and I was like, I couldn't figure out why. Why is this happening? And then one day, I started having dreams. And in my dreams, somebody would shoot me in the head. And it was so vivid that I would feel the bullet go in my head, and I would feel the energy shift my body to where it would hit the ground in my dream. They were very vivid dreams. So I was energetically picking up on the psychic attack that she was sending out to me. And the energy of it was so intense that my 11-year-old daughter even felt it. One night she came to me and she was like, Mom, can you sleep with me? And I'm like, that's not normal for her to ask that. So I was like, yeah, what's wrong? And she's like, I'm scared. And I'm like, well, what are you scared of? And she's like, I had a nightmare. I'm like, all right, tell me about it. Let's walk you through this. And she told me that we went out somewhere shopping, and when we were in the parking lot to get in our car, somebody had shot me. So she was even picking up on the psychic attack or the energy, the intensity of the energy that was being directed. So then it happened. Okay, what she was wishing and specifically saying about a motorcycle accident and dying, my boyfriend and I were in a very, very, very severe motorcycle accident. It was the kind of accident where people would question how you're still alive, because in all actuality and worldly ways of doing things, we shouldn't be alive. The accident was to the extent that his face had to be pretty much put back together. He pretty much broke every single bone in his face. We weren't sure if the one eye socket was crushed so bad that we weren't sure if he would be able to see again. His jaw had split in half and kind of like came open, and they had to put that together. He had a trach in his throat, a feeding tube. He got messed up pretty bad. His face saved my life. I got some road rash. I got a chunk taken out of my head. I broke my clavicle. I have no memory. My memory is completely erased and gone as to the details as to what happened. Did you ever go down a road where you're coming up a hill and you can't quite see what's on the other side? Well, we were coming up a hill, and when we got to the top of the hill, the road curved, and the bike just couldn't handle the curve, and we wound up going off-road deep into the woods, so deep that somehow, like I said, I don't have a memory of it. The story that I was told, the people that found, the woman that found us, she said her son heard something outside, and he went outside, and he said he saw two people laying in the road, and he thought they were dead. So he went and got his mother, who was a nurse, and she came over to us. Somehow we managed to crawl out of the woods and just pass out in the street. Now, how we did not get run over by a car coming down the hill is another miracle. If we would have never somehow crawled out of the woods to the road, he would have bled out and died back there, and I don't know what would have happened to me, because like I said, I don't remember the accident. I don't remember crawling to the street. All I remember is waking up in the hospital. So I started really seriously questioning, is there some kind of curse that had gone on or taken place here? I did find out that she was from Haiti. She's Haitian, and my understanding is voodoo is a big thing in that culture. So I don't know if she did some kind of curse, or she poured her heart out to a family member and that person did some kind of curse. I don't know. I have no proof of it. But the way things happened and lined up definitely felt like that. So a little bit of time went by. My boyfriend was released out of the ICU, and he was able to come home. And there was a benefit that was held to help with some of the medical costs. Now, this woman was pissed. She was pissed that there was a benefit. And again, she posted it all over social media, so mutual friends were telling us, oh my God, did you see this? What she's saying, what she's doing, on how he didn't deserve it, and it was just so much negativity, and ugh. So as I was hearing about and seeing these posts that she was doing, and some of the messages that she would send my boyfriend, obviously this woman is very hurt, okay? And what I would do, because I know she wouldn't accept any love from me, I would energetically do my distance Reiki energy, leaving it out there for her. So it's the whole psychic thing. But anyway, I would send her lots of love, lots of healing, lots of love, whatever it is that she needed to heal her wounds and close them up, because what she was going through was not helping her life at all. It was hurting her. So she can heal and move on and move forward with her life and find the kind of love that would be a perfect match for her, instead of her going and feeling all this anger and resentment and hatred. So before I tell you how the story ends here, the mentality of what happened after the accident was because I had one arm. It's really hard to do anything with one arm. You can't wash dishes, you can't wash your hair, you can't shower, you can't clean, you can't do anything with one hand. Well, when you get used to not having it, but it's really difficult. So he came home out of the ICU to take care of me, and the conversations that we had, it didn't tear us apart, the relationship. It made us stronger. It showed us how we really felt about each other, and the things that we weren't saying, how we really felt. It showed us who our real friends were, who's there and who's not. So many blessings came out of this accident. We did not focus on the negative. We focused on the positive and how it changed and transformed and strengthened our relationship and how to take it even further into a whole nother level. So remember, in the beginning of the video, I was telling you how what you can endure can be more horrific and devastating than anything you would ever imagine. So on top of his ex sending out all this negative energy, my ex was doing the same thing. You're wishing death upon somebody. Be really careful with how much you really put into that, because my stepson, not that long after, wound up getting killed by a hit and run. And my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend, she has 2 kids, and what happened was her youngest one, who I think was like 11 at the time, she became really sick. So sick that I think she missed like a month of school, which is kind of sort of okay compared to what happened afterwards. So her other child, who's her son, who was, I want to say, I think 13 at the time, he, I don't know if I want to say came out of the closet. He announced that he wanted to be a girl, that he was going through some kind of gender identity crisis. Now, for anybody who is familiar with that kind of stuff, you can imagine the impact that it has on the child. Everything from the household dynamics to who supports it, who's okay with it, to who is totally against it and thinks it's wrong. The counseling that everybody has to go through, how this person is treated in school and what they go through, and all the bullying. So it was very traumatic what was going on with her son. It got to the point where he refused to go to school. And this is where the story gets really interesting. There's some really shady, questionable things that I think will forever be secrets. The news came out that he had committed suicide. So, as with any concerned person, my boyfriend, we discussed it. Do you think it's okay to call her and give condolences, or will it just open up a whole nother can of worms to where she's going to latch on? And we discussed it, and I was like, you know what, if you want to call her and tell her you're sorry because you were involved in this child's life, go for it and do it. So he did, and the story that she gave him was that the day he died, the 2 of them got in a fight. He refused to go to school, and they got in a fight, and the fight got physical between the mom and the son. And she said that they got in the fight, and she left to go get her daughter at the bus stop, and when she came back 15 minutes later, he was dead and he was cold. Now, where the story gets confusing is someone is not cold after only being alone for 15 minutes. So we don't know if she gave him her prescription medication for depression and whatever else that she was suffering with in order to get him to act like the kid she wants him to act like, or get him to do whatever it is that she wants him to do, or if he somehow took her prescription medication and accidentally overdosed or intentionally overdosed. We don't know the story. Things don't match up and add up, and we kind of just backed off from there. So do you see what I'm saying here? If you are wishing death upon somebody and you are going to the extent to look up in Google curses, I hope that story right there just completely stopped you totally in your tracks. If you are someone who is hurting, going through a broken heart, be very careful as to what it is that you are thinking, feeling, wishing, and desiring on that person and anybody else who is around them. But like I said, if you are someone who is suffering from a broken heart, or you're desiring to leave that in the past and move forward with your life in a happy, healthy way, I have 2 different options here that'll help you out. One, just schedule a reading with me, okay? I can go over and tell you the energy around the relationship, how to course correct, what the blessing in disguise is, what you're supposed to get out of it. It's like life is like a video game, okay? One thing happens, if you learn what it is that you're supposed to learn, you'll level up and power up to something better. If you don't learn what it is that you're supposed to learn, you will continue to experience the same type relationships and negative results. The other thing that I have for you is a free 1-hour video training all about love. It'll show you the difference between a soulmate and a twin flame. It'll let you know if you are with your false twin flame, what are the key things to look out for, and it'll go over how to end repeat negative relationship patterns, how to end them for good, and how to move forward and attract through the law of attraction and karma what it is that you're truly desiring. Who is that perfect match for you? All that information is below here, the links for you to click on and check out. So let me wrap up this video. If you enjoyed this video, it made sense, it spoke to you, please give it a thumbs up. Also, talk to me. Comment below. I read the comments. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings, any personal experiences that you've gone through, or any questions that you might have. Also, don't forget, make sure you hit the subscribe button under this video if you are into all things psychic and spiritual and intuition and psychic development. Every Tuesday, I put out new videos. And hopefully, I will see you right here next week on this channel. Have a wonderful day.